Welcome to this quick video on the connection between Black Codes, Reconstruction, and why in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s we saw the emergence of the Civil Rights Movement. All right, all generated from a question asked by a student in class within the first 2 weeks of school. So we made this. I'll also help you for the test here this coming Thursday on the Reconstruction unit. So the big question we're going to be focusing on is the one you see right before you. What were Black Codes? So first, the question from class, which I thought was a really good one, I thought was worth taking the time to make this video, was what were people like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X fighting for or against if Reconstruction had already attempted to solve lots of these racial issues close to 100 years earlier, right? So we're going to be looking at both of those things. We're going to be looking at all of those Reconstruction amendments passed, the 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments, all between 1865 and 1877, and then how in the heck are they connected to the Civil Rights Movement almost 100 years later, where we see people still pushing and arguing for equal rights, and again, trying to kind of assimilate African Americans into what some would be considered of the free society in the South. So we're going to be looking at not only how those who are connected, but also, what went wrong. If we actually did pass all of these acts, why didn't they work? Right. So first, let's go over the Reconstruction amendments. Right. First, 13th Amendment essentially abolished slavery in the United States, made slavery and the institution itself illegal. So slavery was out the door. Check there. Next step was the 14th Amendment. This is the longest amendment in the U.S. Constitution, so it's very wordy, very lengthy, but essentially the main components of it are that anyone born in the United States or goes through the process of naturalization is a citizen and has the rights of an American citizen. Those rights are extensive. They essentially protect you under the law, that you have a fair trial, that you can vote, all of those things. The 14th Amendment also says that your citizenship cannot be taken away unless they found that you somehow lied in the process of becoming a citizen. That's the only way it can be rescinded from you. The third part that I want to talk about with the 14th Amendment is it guarantees equal protection under the law or of the laws, and make sure that every person, regardless of your age, your race, and your religion, would be treated the same by the government. All right? So first two amendments out of the way. Third Amendment is the 15th Amendment. It kind of piggybacks the 14th. The 15th Amendment really talks about voting rights. It doesn't give people the right to vote. That's all in the 14th Amendment. So the right to vote is guaranteed by your status as a citizen. And again, remember at this time also if you're a male as well. Females cannot vote yet at this time. But what the 15th Amendment does is it specifically targets voting rights. And what that means is your right to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. So essentially it outlaws discrimination while attempting to vote, not actually the right to vote itself. Okay? So those are the Reconstruction amendments. If all of this was put into place close to 100 years before the Civil Rights Movement, well, what the heck went wrong, right? That's a pain.